2, 1. Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Slash Chat Podcast. Hello. It's been, feels like forever.
Hi.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2
Yep.
weeks.
2 weeks.
Busy 2 weeks.
It feels like forever.
3 weeks?
3?
Many weeks!
We missed the last 2.
Right. Yeah, so 3 weeks. It really feels like it's been longer than that, actually. It feels like it's been
close to a month.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is very true. So, how's everyone doing? How's your 3 weeks going?
Good.
Good.
Very
Busy.
good.
Very busy.
So Alex, how's the new apartment?
I'm not in the new apartment yet.
Yeah, but you said you found one.
Yeah.
How is it?
It's damn sexy.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I mean, like the living room area oversees this. You can see there's this big balcony porch on the second floor. You can oversee the pool, and we get to see where all of the ghosts are, because that's where all the girls drowned in the pool. Girls didn't really drown. I just made that up when we went to see it, and I'm like, oh my god, we get to see all the ghost girls. That's awesome. And Matt's like, that's not funny, and I'm like, I know it's serious business. So what we're gonna be that is on. We're moving in on the 13th. And we're gonna have the TV there. We're gonna have all the, because the guy I'm moving in with is the guy I do Let's Plays with. That's my buddy Matt, and
Cool.
It's gonna be super awesome fun.
Nice.
We're gonna be able to do videos. We're gonna be able to do all the stuff that we usually do, and it's gonna be great.
Nice.
Other than that, it's really just been videos moving around. I currently have boxes all over there. I haven't even unpacked them because right now I'm just staying at family's for like the next week. This apartment, we nearly lost it twice during the hour we were there.
Why?
Because we get there and the lady says, yeah, we have it available, and then the other leasing lady is talking to a guy who wants the exact same one.
Oh.
But he didn't want it until July. We wanted it immediately.
Right.
So then we're told, let's go. Okay, they say, okay, just bring the deposit money order. If you can do that right away, we'll be able to, reserve it for you until you get all the rest of the information there. So all we need is to fill out the application, put down the deposit. We go to the bank, we go to my bank. Takes like half an hour, less than half an hour. We come back, someone already claimed it.
Oh, what?
But their credit wasn't good.
Oh.
And they couldn't pay for the deposit. We could.
That always.
My credit was good. Matt's credit had like something from Verizon, but they said not to worry about that. So we put in the application, gave them all the stuff they needed right then, and we delivered the rest today. So all we need to do is pay the rest of the rent by the 13th, which is like $590, and we're moving in on the 13th.
Nice.
And it's gonna be sexy fun time.
Sexy fun time.
Maybe I'll make a video of it. I have no idea.
Make a video of you moving.
Call it
Maybe.
sexy fun time.
Well, we drafted some of our friends. Well, they volunteered, but they're gonna help us move stuff. And in return, I guess we have to. I think one of my friends said is, just let us shit there. But we'll just give them food. We'll give them pizza or something.
Nice.
Then, I mean, we'd like to do like a group Let's Play of us playing like a multiplayer thing. That would be really cool, but that's really up to them. Like, I'm cool with that. Matt's cool with that. I don't know if our friends are comfortable doing stuff on stream, but like, we're gonna make them do it anyway.
I
Play
would
Smash
suggest
Brothers.
Smash Brothers, but they'd take
Play
it
our
down
our custom
Nintendo.
version of Halo, where we increase the speed. And we just
I'd actually enjoy watching that.
That'd be
Because
awesome.
it's so dumb. It's
You've
so
talked
dumb.
a lot about it though, and it
We
sounds like a
do
lot
that
of
when
fun.
we're really tired, but we should do that. And the thing is, they don't live far. This isn't very far from where they live. It's about, I don't know, 10 minutes. And we could draft them and maybe get them to participate in videos, which would be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
See how that goes. Everything else has just been moving and stuff working.
Nice. Josh, what have you been up to?
Things, stuff. So, like I said last time, actually getting legitly settled into new place. New job is good. Really good. I'm making round about double what I did before for less. It's good. It's really good. I'm an assistant director at a Pittsburgh TV station now, so yeah. I'm enjoying that. What else have I been doing? Not a lot. Getting the living junk set up the way that I want it, and relaxing instead of this crazy half living at my dad, half finding where the F I'm going sort of thing. So I finally got back to playing some stuff. I put up a few new YouTube videos. One of them has like 200 views because I posted it on Reddit.
Oh,
And
jeez.
it's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. What is it? Because I don't think I've seen it yet.
It's like 1 minute. It's really, really short. And I can even link it in the chat if people care. It's
Yes, everyone should go watch it. It's funny as...
It's called Raytog's Bad Idea because I had one.
Hey, it worked.
It worked. So it's just a quick clip off of one of the streams that I had when I was playing the new expansion with my friend Andy. And I had an interesting encounter with one of the bosses. Let's just say that.
Is it another dick punch?
It's not a dick punch, but it's a punch. I may or may not have punched a tank. It worked out. I'll dig up the link and throw it at you guys. Because it's right here. It's a minute long. I have 198 views as of right now.
Nice.
That's cool. Going into chat.
Why did you post it on the cesspool of the internet, which is Reddit?
Because depending
Because it
on
got you views.
well, no, depending on which subreddit you're playing around with. By the way, link. People are not as crazy.
I don't believe you.
A lot of the subreddits are people of like whatever community. For example, like the Elder Scrolls Online community is surprisingly really nice. And the Destiny community is probably the only reason I still even freaking play Destiny. Because they're the people that they grew up with the Halo generation.
Yeah.
And they're like 30 something now. So they're actually nice, accommodating. And they always have these little things about, like, the catchphrase of Destiny was become legend. And so a thing that the community has done every now and then. You just saw it? Yeah.
I just saw it.
Bullshit. It was good.
What?
It happened. It happened.
I can't believe every single one of them hit you in the dick, Vegeta.
But a lot of them
Oh my
have,
God.
the
Hold on
people
for a
there
second.
have
I
this
need to
thing
reopen,
about posting little things of how each individual person has become legend. Little cool things that they've done.
God damn it, Chrome. Fucking Chrome. It keeps logging me out of my Google account.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
It was neat. It was a good time, and that was
Dear
on the
Chrome,
stream.
You suck.
Gabi saw it. Gabi was there, and that was neat. So that was neat. I had been into
that
Warframe as well. I've been sucked fully into that because it's pretty much Destiny, but for PC and way better. And I'm sucking other people into it too.
You're just so good at sucking.
Oh,
Sorry, someone had to say it.
that's what they say. But yeah, I've pulled a couple of people into it, and it's good stuff.
Fuck. Why is it Wait. Oh.
because Space Ninjas are fun.
Space Ninjas!
And it's actually a very neat competitive game for a game that's a lot of PvE as
Right.
opposed to PvP. It's,
Actually, I got a message from someone via Skype that says if you ever want to play Warframe, you play Warframe. And guess who it is? Because you both know him. I think you know him, Josh. Eric?
Eric. Yeah, we were talking about it last night.
Yeah,
Okay.
we did. But that's cool. I have the beginnings of my own little clan going on with me now, Tio, and the other guy in that Destiny video.
Yeah,
Blue
nice.
Brother Andy.
I'll be right back. Just a sec.
And the Canadian backing it. So
Woo!
we got like 3-4 people going on right now. So a few more, and we'll actually have enough to do raids and shit. But it'll be fun. So that's pretty much what I've been up to. Getting used to the new job. Playing a few games. Oh yeah, I bought. I haven't played it yet because I'm still going through the second one. But I purchased The Witcher 3,
Nice.
and that's probably next on my playlist. But that's it.
Kyogre, what have you been up to?
Still more job shit. I actually just went by a place today that builds barges for the water, and I got into Brownsville, and I'm like, how in the world am I going to find this place? And then I went, wait a minute, jackass, they build barges. They're probably not on the top of that mountain. You should probably just follow the river and you'll find them. Because, it's a 2-mile-long facility. So, yeah, ran into it, talked to a nice guard there, filled out the application, put in a couple of other places while I was out and about, and got a couple more to do because I gotta get out and do a job. I love it at the gym, but the other one that we won't discuss, I'm ready to be done. My boss is nice to me and everything, but I'm ready to be done. So I'm just throwing as much mud as I can against the wall and seeing what sticks. So far, the only places that have asked
Aren't worth it.
For what they were offering, I could keep my job at the gym, stock shelves overnight at Walmart, and make what they were offering and have more time free to go to school. So it's really not worth giving up a job I love and probably not being able to take a lot of the classes I want to take at school to do that.
Fair enough.
Other than that, I've actually had time to get in gaming because I have most of the week off. This hasn't happened in a year. You have no idea how freaking tired I have been.
I bought him a Warframe because
Yeah, he did. I'm Earl King, bitches.
Because he actually had time to fucking game for a change. So good stuff there.
So,
We're having fun.
Oh yeah, and it's been a couple weeks, so there's quite a bit of gaming to give up on. Quite a bit of gaming to talk about. Been playing a lot of Minecraft lately. Carthmil servers up. Everyone should take the opportunity to get in on that. I'm kind of working on part of the spawn area. He's got me building a giant boat, and I need to get back to it. I had to take a break from it for a little while because I got a little burned out on mega builds there for a minute. But now I'm burned out on mining, so I'm back to work on the boat. Got my nice automatic farm set up. Had to actually move my entire base because some jackass was being a jackass. Of course, it didn't help that one of the admins told me that land claims worked in such a way that they don't.
They did!
Well, they don't anymore. So none of my stuff was claimed, and he was destroying it all. And I was like, dude, quit being a jackass. And he said, well, it's survival. Okay, it's survival. All right.
This is the wrong person to do this to.
Yes, it is. So the giant spawner tower he built, I leveled and sold all the cobblestone from. I mined out all the areas around his base so that there are no resources anywhere near, at least none that I could find. I made sure my mountain that he was building on top of was nice and hollowed out, and then I took all the torches out, so he's sitting on top of a giant monster spawner that is completely unpredictable. I booby-trapped the hell out of that with lava, and so forth and so on, and I carved a creeper inside of his base that just has a little sign that's like, 1, 2, 3, it's coming for you.
He put a creeper face in the wall next of this
and
guy's
some surprises in the other walls, too, that you'll probably find out about at some point. In addition to that, I also slaughtered all of his livestock and put up a sign that said, recent cattle mutilations blamed on aliens. And as a tribute to Shibu, I also baked a giant penis. And then I put a nice sign up on top of his former spawner tower that just says, "This is survival mode, great." And this is me being nice, because Karth actually offered to kick the guy off because he's being a douche. It's like, no,
Yeah.
leave him on. This will be fun. What I really want to do, though, is I want to get a faction, say the one that has 2 large bases in that area already anyway, to go in and just land claim where he's at, and then go and put glass blocks up around his chests so that he can see them. He just can't get into them.
That would be awesome.
Just as a note, people, if you see Theodore Fiat on a Minecraft server, don't piss him off, because this is the kind of stuff I do when I'm bored. This is not what I do when I'm actively trying to screw with you.
Yeah.
It's too much fun with it. This is why he runs vampire games.
Which I might be
That's
starting
it.
again soon.
I was gonna say, between you and Chibo, you guys are like the biggest dicks on a Minecraft server that I know. And I'm glad I'm friends with both of you.
But, yeah, I know some of my booby traps were effective because I found a bunch of chests, the ones that drop when you die. I found a whole lot of them by triggered traps in my old base. But that's okay, because I already got, like, I want to say close to a stack of diamonds, 5 blocks of emerald, and I don't know how much, like, several stacks worth of iron
Oh,
and
jeez.
gold blocks. Not ore, not ingots, blocks
Mhm.
out of that mountain before I left. So it's like, okay, you want to go right ahead. There's not a whole lot left there resource-wise, and anything he builds outside of his protected area, I'm just going to keep smashing the shit out of it.
Fair enough.
Because don't piss me off. A lot of Warframe with Raytog. Kind of enjoying the... What's the actual name of it? I keep calling him the Earl King, but Oberon. That's it.
Oberon. Yep.
Yeah, I'm having a little fun with Oberon. Originally, I was going to get Loki, but someone else in this podcast already has Loki, and I didn't want us to double up, so
I
It was
can't
gonna-
help it.
it's okay.
That
It's
used-
fine. I
That
like the
used to
Earl
be
King.
one of
It's-
the ones you could start with.
Yeah.
It isn't anymore, but it used to
Yeah.
be.
The Oberon one is sort of a
You compared it to a prot pally.
yeah, it's kind of because I've got a little bit of healing, a little bit of aggro draw and survivability. It's actually
have
probably
a-
more like a ret. It's more like a ret paladin.
I don't know, because it still has that like AoE on the ground thing.
Yeah, but that's more like a
Consecration?
ret paladin. It's not really. It doesn't have enough survivability to be a prop pally.
Mm.
Maybe if I get that sword and shield combo, but that's not how I'm planning on going. You've seen how I play.
We've researched that at our base, by the way. You can get that.
Okay, cool. But
Nice.
I'm assuming as we go to topics, we'll probably end up talking about more Warframe. So I'm trying to.
Probably.
If there's anything else that's happened this week, it's mostly just been me going to job shit and working on getting the gym cleaned up and finishing up fall schedule, going into summer schedule. And I've actually had time to sleep. I almost forgot what that was like.
Sleep is good.
And I started going to the gym again. Not just like the gymnastics gym, the actual weight gym.
Gym.
I'm going to remain sitting for quite a while today because I got on the leg press, and that's one of those exercises Jeremy should stay away from because he gets carried away.
How's your toe?
That was fine.
Did you break your toe?
No, one of the kids at the gym broke. She came off the bars wrong, her heel drove straight and just cracked the little one. So I just kind of pretended like nothing was really bothering me and kept spotting for a little bit and then put everything back. It's like, okay, you guys are going to do these drills. I'll be right back. I need to use the restroom. Then I went downstairs into the office, set the toe, and taped it to the other one.
Oh no.
Back on. And then I went back to work. But as with most things on me, it is healed up pretty nicely. I mean, if you see this thing on my head, that was what, February? And it was, how deep would you say that was? Because you actually saw enough of it. It was pretty close to the bone.
Yeah, it was. But still.
Needed 4 or 5 stitches, and
Yeah.
you can hardly see it anymore.
Yeah, he's Wolverine. We understand that. It's
Apparently.
Jeremy's Wolverine. It's okay.
That or I'm a wizard.
He
That
can't
too.
grow facial hair though.
Yeah, that's true.
Wolverine's a wizard.
Hey, hey, hey.
Ah!
So he has the mask, and then he
Or
has
maybe I'm just a motherfucking sorcerer.
Oh no. So yeah. So I'm gonna start off by saying how my week was, and then I have a surprise for everyone, which is gonna be amazingly awesome.
Yeah, surprise.
Surprises! It's gonna be awesome. So, but you have to sit through my long and boring intro of how my week has
Not
been.
worth
Surprise.
Have to deal with my long, boring intro of how my week was before you get to see the surprise. But actually, I'm gonna fix this really quick. There you go. Ah, now I'm center. I kept like leaning on one side because I'm like, I'm uncentered on the screen. So I just got back from California, also Denver, Colorado. I took a trip, or flew from Pittsburgh to Denver, Colorado, then drove from, well, I didn't drive, but I rode with from Denver, Colorado to California for a anime convention, Fanime. I got to meet amazing fucking people, two of which are Jason, who you guys know. He's one of the Embraced, and
what's the name of his podcast?
Huh?
What's the name of his podcast, Jason?
Jason doesn't have a podcast?
I thought it was him. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. It's like unapologetic something.
Yeah, no, not Jason's a mod. Jason's one of my mods here.
Jason.
Yeah. X v Jason v X.
Right.
He's one of my mods here. Him and I drove from Denver to San Jose, California, where at San Jose we met up with Mr. Shibo Shofu. So two people that I actually got to meet in real life and not online, which was awesome, amazing people. Then I also got to meet Dancing Fighter, who's another streamer on Twitch.tv. She was awesome. Aya is amazing. Got to have lunch with her. Went to the anime convention and had an amazing fucking time in California, and then drove back and flew out from Denver, Colorado back to Pennsylvania. So all in all, it was a very good week. There was a little bit of an ups and downs, but as you get that from traveling. Cardinal is currently at work, unfortunately. Sadly, Cardinal is at work. He had to work today. But yeah, it was definitely a amazing time. Oh.
Please get rid of that motherfucker in the chat who keeps spamming shit.
Alex put his foot down. Ooh.
My tolerance for bullshit. It's been challenged.
It's been challenged. But yeah, so it was an amazing vacation. It was a little bit. I already did. Fuck off, Alex. But
no friends, Gabi. No friends.
I missed you.
So it was definitely.
Hey, Gabi, how about this? How about when I play Persona again, I decide not to pursue that Naoto social link any further? How do you like that? Yeah.
Oh no! Oh no! But yeah.
Sorry, your Naoto baby is dead. And I'll remove her from the party too. How about that?
But yeah, so it was definitely a good vacation. It was kind of one of those vacations, though, that because of all the traveling, because it was not only airplane and then road trip and then back on airplane and stuff like that, it was one of those vacations where you're like, man, I need a vacation from that vacation. But other than that, it was amazing.
Are you happy to be back?
I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be streaming because honestly, like
that's literally cross country for you.
Yeah, that was the farthest west I'd ever been. So I went across country, and I'm really happy to be streaming again. I had a moment of just like when I got home that I was just like, I just want to stream. Just want to stream, but then I need to decompress, but I want to stream. Oh no. So yeah. It was a fun time though. And yes. Guess what time it is, guys? It is surprise time. Are you ready for this? 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 Alex, is your body ready?
Sure.
Okay, I'll be back.
That could be taken a number of ways.
I'll be back.
I'm about to be violated.
Probably.
Through the TV / computer monitor.
We don't have a topic or anything though, do we?
I'm going to be sodomized by
to her ass. Wow.
What does she have that's like phallic that could be easy to
I don't. There.
She probably
I don't know if I
has,
should have the talk with you at this point, man, but
she probably has something.
Jerry, do you need anything?
Nah,
Go
not
by.
right.
Okay.
That's disturbing. Did you
Not as
kidnap
disturbing as
her?
what's next.
You kidnapped her.
I don't know about that.
Okay, you hyped that up big time, and then I'm
I
just
don't know
like,
about that.
okay, that's not really a surprise because she's like.
It's sort of a surprise.
Hey, I brought you a card.
Thanks.
I
That's
feel,
where I moved.
I feel betrayed. Is she gonna appear behind me?
That would be really creepy, wouldn't it?
Oh, I don't know if she's that good.
So you really are sure you don't need anything, right?
Another tea if you're.
There's boxes against
Yeah,
her
thank you.
closet. I'm afraid she's gonna creep out in a black cloud of smoke
Alex is currently afraid you're going to crawl up behind him.
or through the window or through the TV. It's gonna be like
Thank
Ringo.
you.
Sadako. Sadako. Go back.
The bunkers have been
to
busted.
Jason Voorhees. She's seeping through. She's watching me.
Probably.
I need to seal all entrances and exits.
Okay, so I officially have a streamer house.
Yeah.
Are you buried under all those boxes?
You seriously assuming that you're just gonna pop out behind me.
You're gonna come out in a cloud of black smoke from through the cracks under the closet.
Crawl out of the TV, Grudge style.
Gonna crawl out of Sadako. Sadako-chan. I didn't put you in the well.
But no.
It's gonna be like Sadako, but with glasses and a cat hat. That would be fucking awesome, actually.
I like how that went from that to this.
Because I approve of that. I approve of like Sadako coming with little cat ears.
But yeah, that's actually kind of the
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
When I got a job in Pittsburgh, this was like
I feel left
great-
out now.
This was like a great midway point. And there was also this nice sort of basement thing that wasn't being used.
I have Josh locked in my basement.
Pretty much, yeah.
We're going to have Josh locked in my basement.
So yeah, that has been a lot of progress for the last month
Yeah.
of setting this whole thing up. That eventually, something we do want to work on is kind of having a group night where we have a couch, we sit down, the three
You're
of
just
us.
rubbing this in.
Yeah, totally.
Well, it was either that or I had to stay in that wonderful situation I was in before, which wasn't wonderful. So this just wound up being probably the best choice
Oh yeah.
for me to do as in moving wise and career wise. So it all just really worked out, and yeah, this will probably be fun.
Probably.
Hey, it already has been fun.
It already has been fun. I've already grown it.
On for most of fun, because you moved in right before she.
Yeah, I went on vacation.
Yep. Yep.
Don't
So,
go on Twitter.
huh?
Don't go on Twitter.
Why?
Don't.
Why would you go on Twitter anyways? Is the better question.
What the? Hold on. I'm looking something up. I
Oh!
just discovered something.
Ah!
Oh, Gabby! No!
I'm not gonna look. I don't want to know.
No! No!
Am I involved in this? If not, I'll film it.
No!
I'll watch.
No!
Like I was looking up.
Did we not expect this to go this way? Because I
Like,
don't believe the
I was
internet.
listen. I was looking up how to spell Sadako correct, like the name of the ring girl. So I type in Sadako, and I discovered there's this movie called Sadako 3D,
That sounds like a
which
movie
is
I never
in
want to watch.
2012. The spiteful ghost of Sadako, a murdered woman whose body was thrown down a well, reaches internet searching for a host in order to live.
God damn it, Shima, you're not making it any better!
And I'm like, what is this? So basically, oh, it's like the conclusion to the ring. That's weird. Well, there was only 3 guys here, so you can't have 4. Sorry.
Unless we become very international with it.
It doesn't say. It doesn't say what these 4 guys are doing.
Yeah, that's fine.
For all we know, we could just be drawing in the coloring books or slitting our
Coloring
wrists.
books. Let's go with the coloring books.
We'll go with the coloring books. Yeah, that works. That works.
I know what I'm coloring.
Oh, what?
Hey, Josh, remember when we gave Brandon that coloring book and took all the labels off the crayons?
If anyone in the chat doesn't know what he's talking about, we were friends with this kid who was a really nice guy, but he was 100% colorblind.
Like grayscale.
So we gave him a Ninja Turtle coloring book, and we took all the paper off the crayons and let him go to town. It was
He
funny.
thought it was the best present ever.
Wow, you guys are dicks.
He liked it, though.
Okay,
He had
this is
fun.
a kid who also wore a shirt that said "Screw the colorblind," and it was in one of those colorblind patterns, so you couldn't
didn't
read it if
say
you were
screw.
colorblind. Okay,
That's like giving earmuffs to a deaf person. Like
their ears can still be cold.
No, I fucked that joke up.
And
It's
I
more like
ran
giving
with
a
it.
telescope to the blind person. Like
I'm not wearing cat ears.
I could still beat
Got
somebody
me.
with it.
I'm not wearing cat ears. It's not happening.
like giving tap shoes to the person who can't walk.
My point is, he thought it was hilarious,
Well, as
and
long
he
as he
wore
can-
a shirt that he bought himself, knowing that it said "Screw the colorblind" on it, in a pattern that he couldn't read. So whenever people gave him shit about it, he's like, "What? I can't. What? It's just a weird pattern, right?"
If it just said it had a middle finger or some other vulgar slur.
What's funny is, last
Like,
I heard, he
you
was
read
going to
it.
school to be a dermatologist.
Wow, Gabi, you're a piece of shit. Your ass later.
Sorry, Gabi was around for my tank punch, so he has my approval on most of the things that he does. Pretty much as a blanket approval.
No more Naoto, Gabi. No more Naoto. No more. None. You're finished, man. You're finished.
This is just gonna be an ongoing thing. This entire chat, I have a feeling.
Probably.
It's okay. It's okay. So, one of the topics I wanted to discuss today was a topic that has been brought up several times, and a lot of people are probably going to hear the same shit over and over again. But I have not discussed this with you guys.
Okay.
And
What is it?
a new game just launched, Hatred.
Oh, that thing.
Can't play it on Twitch.
And there's a lot of controversy behind it.
We
It
can
looks
talk
fucking
about it, though.
Stupid. It's dumb. I've been trying. Listen, you want to hear my opinion on this? Because I've been writing news stories about this thing since it was first launched. I was the guy on Hardcore Gamer who talked about this the most in all of the news stories.
Okay.
We're like,
And he's looking up his notes.
Okay, when that first trailer came out, I was like, wow, he's shooting civilians. And there's pleading for their lives. Less than 24 hours later, I'm working at Walgreens. And I'm like, why are you? And my coworker is like, I'm really uncomfortable about this game Hatred. And I'm like, why? How can you take this seriously? A few hours later, we were making jokes to each other going, I fucking hate this world. There is no way you can take this game seriously. It is trying way too hard to be edgy.
The lead character that you play as looks like Nathan Explosion.
It's Nathan Explosion's emo brother who didn't get anywhere.
Didn't get any, period.
Apparently.
So, like, this game has been getting so much controversy. It got removed from Steam Greenlight for a while. And then Gabe Newell, like, it got trashed by the games media, right in the hype of you know what.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gabe Newell said, whoa, we're going to put this game on Steam. And people are like, wait, it's so violent. He's like, I don't give a shit.
The real big deal.
I have a
this is-
collection of knives.
If people actually haven't been keeping up with this at all, it's one of the few games that have actually got a AO, like adults only rating.
Yeah.
And a lot of like it won't ever make it to consoles because no console even wants to be attached to a game like that. And a lot of like GOG, good old games, won't
GOG
even
won't
carry
sell
it
it.
at all. And it looked like Steam wasn't going to either, but like Alex said, Gabe actually dropped the bomb and was like, "No, we're gonna do this." So it's back.
So
Honestly, it doesn't even look that interesting. This is like the
Mortal
new
Kombat X looks more violent.
This is like the new Postal, is the thing.
It
Oh
is.
yeah.
It's
And
this
guess
just happens
what?
like once every gaming generation.
Those
It
review
does.
scores aren't too glowing. Surprise, surprise.
It's just like it's violent for the sake of being violent, and it's not interesting, or it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of complex mechanics or anything. I mean, because the whole premise of the game is okay, you load up with weapons, you kick down your front door, and you go ape shit. You're supposed to off as many people, regardless of who or what they are, before the cops kill you. I think I've played this game before. It's called Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
It's been out already, and they've done it better, but they're, like you said, trying to be edgy about it. So it's like,
So this game has been getting so much controversy. I mean, people in the community were saying like, "Oh, what about mods? Can we mod particular cultural critics in?" And they said, "Yeah, sure, mod whatever you want in. We don't really care." There are achievements in this game. One of them is misogynist, where if you kill a certain number of females in the game, and there's also one called feminist, where if you kill a certain number of males in the game. It's trying so hard to just appeal to just the opposite side of that spectrum. And I'm looking at the reviews right now. The general consensus is it's repetitive.
Yeah.
it's like and the Chizo was asking, is it like worse violence-wise than GTA? The graphics aren't even really that great. It's like a top-down, like
I want to say honestly,
RTS camera angle, and it doesn't even like it. You
It's
can't see that
isometric.
much.
It's a twin stick
what
shooter.
what if we looked at it as like Hotline Miami?
Hotline Miami is probably more violent than this. I mean, the most impressive thing that I've been hearing as far as the graphics is the physics. But I mean, it's a very stale color palette.
Mm-hmm.
Black and gray is not interesting to me. That's why I think Hotline Miami is amazingly stylized. I mean,
There's no story to this.
there's no
point
story,
to
and
this.
like you're killing just there. And I mean, I've been seeing so many people just say that, this is, at the very beginning, this is an AO rated game, and it's the only released AO game that was given AO rating solely
On
for
Vi.
Yeah,
It
with
was
no like sexual content.
The only
or
other
anything like
game
that.
to get an AO rating for violence alone was a game called Thrill Kill for the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
And that never got released. That was rated, but it got canceled. So this was a big deal. I mean, yeah, the fact that Twitch announced right before this game launched, you can't stream AO rated games. And, they already cracked down on stuff like Honey Pop and the uncensored versions of Fahrenheit, although I do not know why you'd ever want to play a David Cage game. But so the whole argument of hatred, and there were in the press during this whole debacle that was going on, they were like, "This is the worst game ever. This is a travesty. This is a," and they're saying, and they're just condemning it. They're creating this sphere of controversy about it. And the whole time I'm thinking, you do realize that this is exactly what the developers want you to do, right? So basically, at the end of the day, this was creating, this is the worst thing. The press was creating a controversy about this. Completely what the developers wanted to do. That's what Postal wanted to do. That's what Mortal Kombat wanted to do in the 90s. And as it turns out, when the game is eventually playable and shown off, everyone says it is just there for controversy. And I'm thinking, you created the controversy. If you really thought that this was bad and shouldn't exist, you'd ignore it. Don't give it attention. Don't feed the trolls. And the more and more I learned about this game, and I made a lot of every bit of news like that came out about this, I was reporting on it when I wrote for Hardcore Gamer. I just thought this game is a source of controversy. It is a lot like Postal. I mean, I've never played Postal. I have it.
The first one was kind of crappy. The second one, they had more fun with it, and they did, but it was much more intelligent than this Hatred game. As in the opening of Postal 2, you wake up in your trailer with your like deadbeat wife or whatever, and then you go to work. You go to work at the game studio that built this game. There was a protest outside. And the protesters are chanting, "Games are bad, they make you mad."
Yeah.
And then they raid the building, trying to kill everything inside.
Running with Scissors is the developers of Postal have, they've been, they love controversy. They believe that anything should be available to parody or whatever. And like they recently released a Postal 2 downloadable like expansion pack or something, and it basically makes Tim Schafer, the creator of games of like Double Fine games, they make him into like a sex addict. Like they openly make him look like some like a fucking idiot. I mean, I fucking hate Double Fine. I think that they're a load of idiots, and they haven't made a good game since Psychonauts. So like, I'm not really offended by that at all. I think, I could go on about how Tim Schafer, they used up all that money for Broken Age or whatever, but that's not the point of this. The point of the thing is that Hatred was founded on controversy. I think that more people were buying it solely as some sort of statement of freedom of speech, like this game has a right to exist and I'm going to support it. And no, you shouldn't do that. You should support the game if it's good.
And it's not really that good a game.
I'm hearing that it's not.
Postal was about social commentary.
It's a satire.
Yeah, and even in that game, if you wanted to, you could get through the entire campaign of that game without killing anything. It never probably happened for most of the people that actually played the game, but it was that in and of itself was part of the commentary. It had something to say. This game looks like it's being controversial for the sake of being controversial, which isn't a statement. That's like
the game has
let's
something.
Let's go back to the 90s when Marilyn Manson hired people to protest his concerts.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sort of game that we're talking about.
I mean, the thing with Postal is that it had something to say based on what was actually in the game.
Yeah.
Hatred has something to say solely about, the fact that it was removed from Steam and that it was freedom of speech. Now, Steam has banned certain games. Like, I know that there's one game that was like a gay porn simulator or something, some sort. And they said that like the game was removed because it was like homophobia or something like that. And I'm like, no, it's because there's frontal nudity. I mean, like, Steam doesn't usually sell games that have that kind of nudity. They didn't sell the uncensored version of Honey Pop. You have to get that from the developer. Although the developers of that said, oh, by the way, if you get the Steam version, here's a trick in the code that we can make it. I'm like, okay. I'm never crazy about that too. I just think that Hatred's existence is this whole time, probably the last few months of its development before release, I was thinking, I just want this game to come out so we can know if the controversy actually meant anything. I didn't want it to come out to be appalled. I mean, we've been through controversy. This is not new. We've been doing this as far back as the 80s. I mean, there have been violent games before Mortal Kombat. There have been censored games that are, like, you can go far back as like the Atari porn games, and those are laughably terrible. But, we survived Mortal Kombat, we survived Grand Theft Auto, and there have been countless studies of people saying violent games do not make people violent. And that's like, why are we even having this argument about Hatred? It's fishing for controversy, and it caught it. The press fell for it.
That's the problem. If nobody made a big stint about this, if it didn't get removed from Steam Greenlight in the first place, which should be secondary to game development, that shouldn't be primary, but a social issue that happened about the release of this game is more important than the entire bandwidth of all of the content within the game. that all that was made probably, or I don't know if it's actually done with development or whatever, but most of that shit that was in the game was done before this even became a controversy. So it's riding on the laurels of people bitching.
Mm-hmm.
How is that in any way relative to a good product? It's not. I don't
I
care.
wouldn't say a good product, but would you consider it good marketing to cause such a controversy
Oh yeah.
in the social media and the social light of things, just so people are going to be like, what is with this game? What is with the controversy?
Well, there
and
was
then
also
buy it to figure it
controversy
out.
related
It's gonna
to
happen eventually
some
because
people
everything-
said that the developers, some of the people who work for this company, Destructive Creations, some of the members' Facebook pages said that they liked some sort of a group that is somehow connected to like neo-Nazis. I do not know if that's true. From what I heard, it's not. And even if it was, who gives a shit? I mean, there could be members of like Westboro Baptist Church who are a bunch of fucking idiots in a game. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care if you're Christian. I don't think that the neo-Nazism has anything to do with anything. I mean, like, you could be of any faith, of any political alignment. I do not care. If your game is good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. Hatred was, people fell for it. I remember when that came out and it was trending on Twitter and everyone was losing their minds. And for a while, I kind of was too. But as it came out, I'm thinking, this does have a right to exist, even though I'm not interested in it. And then we get into this whole free speech argument, and that blew up all these other things. And I talked to a lot of other people who saw it. Some people were outright sickened by it, but eventually it just showed that it's trying so hard and it's pathetic.
My question on that, actually, in going back to Kat's question, is yes, they were trying to be controversial. There's really no question there.
Yeah.
Was that the goal of their marketing scheme?
Probably.
I don't know, because if we look back at other things that have done shit like this, let's even go back to something that is universally considered to not be good but have a great marketing thing. Blair Witch Project, right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
I'm more of a film guy.
Oh, yeah.
They intended this from the beginning to make you think that this found footage video, the first one of them that got big, was legit. They went so far as to make a fake documentary on the subject to make it seem like these people were actually missing. And
They
went,
made MySpace pages for the characters, and that was like the first time that had ever been done for any film.
and actually, they went a step further, and on the film's IMDb page, IMDb was a new thing back then, the actors were listed as missing and or presumed dead. That was a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
They planned all of that, and it was a big marketing thing to do that. These guys just kind of went, let's just do something fucking crazy and see what happens. It doesn't seem like it was planned.
Wait. So you're saying, do I look like a guy with a plan? I just do things.
I really
Like,
think
you
that
this game was created as like its development was rooted in controversy.
Probably. Someone was going to do it eventually because it's been on the edges of things forever because controversy sells.
I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the same.
It gets you
think
publicity.
It was.
And to answer Mr. Red Velvet, yeah, pretty much. There really isn't any bad publicity because publicity is going to get you sales one way or the other. It might cost you some in some ways.
I would agree with that.
Like,
I know that that publicity can really cripple you. Just look at Titan Souls. But
bad publicity can happen, but my real thing on this is I don't know if they pointedly went out of their way to get this to happen. This all happened because of other people's reactions to it. They didn't.
But it's pretty easy to predict people's reactions.
Not necessarily. You don't know if shit's
this
going to
is
get
the
taken
Streisand
down.
effect.
They're going to stop. Well, that's happening, yes. But I still don't know if they've intended that to happen in the first place. If they just kind of did shit and people reacted this way, or they
If they
planned
didn't,
it to.
I guarantee you somebody else is going to do it very soon because I've kind of been waiting on something like that to happen just because when the whole violent video games controversy started, I mean, the first time I remember really hearing about it was back during Columbine, but I'm sure it came up before that. But that was when you really started hearing a lot of things about video games cause violent behavior. No, they don't. Otherwise, I'd be the violent SOB.
Once a generation. Every time.
Well, do you remember Troika Games, Vampire Bloodline?
Oh, yeah.
How they had the radio announcements, and there's one that was like, Senator Limperman is pissed off about
Oh yeah, they're making fun of
shots taken at him in recent video games.
I mean, Mortal Kombat was really the first one that started the discussion in the first place, and it was. I mean, I was in the 90s. I was too young. I mean, I did play Mortal Kombat 2 on the Genesis as a young kid.
I played it in the arcade, the skating
I really didn't think anything of it. I mean, I just thought, okay, blood in the game, and my parents didn't care. I mean, my parents.
I mean, here's the thing. Right next to that game, at the roller skating place I used to go to, and that was right around the time rollerblades became a thing. So get off my lawn, you kids. There was a game that the whole point of it was this target came up and there was a boxing glove attached to a rope and you were supposed to hit this as hard as you could. And you basically punched your way to being a superhero.
No.
And we took, that is more physically violent than the images taking place on there, and no one ever said anything about that. I mean, hell, we'd get out as far as we could on that thing and have our friends push us on the roller skates and try to punch it with like 6 people behind.
Oh, wow.
No,
It was
That would have been fun.
what Neo Shadow said.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was before that. You had the Nintendo Power Glove.
Neo
That was a
Shadow
thing.
mentioned Super
Yeah.
Combine RPG. Now that you know, there have been a lot of games that have kind of taken those, you know, that are intended to be incendiary, like intended to just stir shit. Postal was kind of like that, but you still had a game there. But there are so many other games that have done stuff like Super Columbine RPG was basically making an RPG where like you play as someone during the Columbine Massacre. Blatantly insensitive. I can name off like 2 others. There's one where you actually play as Lee Harvey Oswald in trying to assassinate John F. Kennedy. And I've never played it, but it sounds terrible and stupid. Like, I remember way back when G4 was a thing, they had like a list of the most offensive games ever. And I think that there was like a 10 for the win that Steven Larson did on Machinima. And one of them was a game called, and I'm kidding you not, and it's called Ethnic Cleansing. Guess what you do in this game?
Play Assassin's Creed 3?
Ah! That hurts.
Well, basically,
That's why I keep killing all the players. Because of Pac-Man and those white dots.
you're not wrong. I mean,
That's
basically,
like-
Ethnic Cleansing is like hate crime, the video game, just like
So
Punch,
Assassin's Creed 3.
just like Punch Out in Assassin's Creed 3.
So, okay, wait a minute. We're going off of apparently really racist guys in AC3. Then we have like crazy
but they're
revolutionary terrorists in Unity, and now we have the mob in Syndicate. Where's Assassin's Creed gone? We're horrible people.
Somebody made them an offer they couldn't
Various
refuse.
beliefs and religions. They have to remind you that every game,
Yeah.
just so they don't get caught for that.
Yeah,
Resident Evil
someone
5
just made
didn't
them
do
an offer
that.
they
That's
couldn't
why they got called racists.
Well, that was really more for the first game when with the time when the first Assassin's Creed came
Well,
out. If you really think about it, you're kind of a brown person killing Christian soldiers.
Well, I
They
mean,
had to get real sensitive about, okay, that's not what this game is actually about.
Jeremy, what are you doing?
trying to get the spring reset on this pair of vice grips.
I mean, so what I'm saying is
Josh,
that
run.
I'm fine.
You're upstairs.
What'd you use that on me for?
It's a pair of vice grips.
Do you just ask the internet that question? Why? Why did you do that?
What did she ask the internet?
Why would you do that? And what would you do to me with that? Why would we even open that door? Why? But anyways.
But these games are manufactured to create controversy. Hatred, I don't think there was any artistic statement behind it. I mean,
There isn't. I mean,
they could have said like, we wanted to make a game where you do this shit, and I mean, there was no question that they knew what they were doing when they released that first trailer. No one was going to say, oh, we don't care about, you shooting civilians in the head or anything like that. No one. The thing is, the more people said how terrible it was, the more attention they got. They wanted more and more people were like, oh, this is terrible. This is god awful. Everyone's saying this is horrible. I want to see what the big deal is about. It happens every time. They never learn.
Okay, so taking the controversy completely aside,
Mm-hmm.
and looking at just the game, and looking at what the game is,
Mm-hmm.
it does, in my mind, every single time I've seen a trailer of it, every single time I see something just gameplay-wise, the first thing that pops into my mind is repetitive.
It looks boring.
And-
It literally looks boring.
It's just one of those things where there was someone who said something in a different chat channel that said about killing pixels.
Mhm.
You're just bad pixels killing bad pixels. And in terms of gameplay, like, I'm sure it would be fun for an hour. It would be one of those games that if you came home and you were just super frustrated, yeah, it would be like that Gears of War.
Kind of like what I used to do with Unreal Tournament back in the
Right.
day.
At a
It-
shitty day, I just want to kill fake people.
Yeah.
Okay, it's out. I'm gonna go be productive again.
right.
Or like when I go to the gym and I spend 20 minutes on the heavy bag.
Yeah. So, I mean, it has that element of I can see where this game, in a productive sense, has some sort of just use.
Mhm.
Now, when we
But
look
there are
at it,
probably better games for doing it.
right. Now, when we look at better and more productive and what would be considered good productivity, I would say more along the lines of there's games that are out there that can help you just de-stress, that wouldn't be as violent, because I could definitely see a case situation like, I just want to kill something, and this is how I'm going to do it. They play hatred, and then something comes into their mind that just clicks them the wrong way, but it's their perception going into the game, not the game itself.
Game doesn't do anything.
Right.
Person. Games don't kill people. People kill people.
But
Warcraft 3 time. Guns don't kill people. I do.
I miss Warcraft 3. But
Now, I do think that if you need a game that stresses you out, there are better games.
Oh, yeah.
Go play like Painkiller, because you got this swarm of enemies and you just shoot them.
Or Dead Rising.
Grand Theft Auto is still huge.
Yeah.
The only thing the game has for it is the controversy.
Yep.
Everything else, I mean,
And that the game didn't actually. I still am not convinced that game created all that controversy its whole self. That was a community that decided to go apeshit about it on their own terms.
Yep.
I think if that community didn't do that, this game would have never
This
even
game-
been noticed.
Yeah, I was going to say this
But
game
the
would fly under the
developers,
radar.
They would. That's the thing.
The game has had an effect on me though, because all this talking about violent video games, I just had to go and buy Unreal Tournament again.
Bastard.
The old one.
I kind of want to
But
play like
If it wasn't for the controversy, I have a feeling it would just be like, oh, it'd just be another violent game. Whatever. We have plenty of those. We have currently the top headliner right now, Grand Theft Auto. And it's one of those things where, well, Neo just said, I think the game did create the controversy itself. But doesn't Grand Theft Auto? Like...
Well, the thing with Grand Theft
Can't
Auto
you
is
mow
it's-
down
it's
civilians
a
and then get in
little-
trouble for it? Yeah.
I mean, if you Grand Theft Auto, I mean, it is a cultural satire in and of itself, especially something like Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City. It's like it, and I mean, in 1998 is when the very first Grand Theft Auto came out, and it was a top-down kind of game. But it was innovative because it was open world. It was not linear. You didn't go level to level. You could go from mission to mission, and in between, you could drive however you want. And once the third one came out, when it was 3D, it was innovative. It was, for its time, the controversy kind of, got more people exposed to the fact that, hey, this is a new way to make games. And all of these other kinds of games, like Spider-Man started doing it. And then we're starting to, you know, all of the more modern examples. You got your Saints Rows, you got your Just Causes, you got your
Ironically,
Arkham City.
Grand Theft Auto became what it did because of a glitch, like a programming glitch that they didn't expect. Like how the cops actually don't even attempt to arrest you; they just try to kill you. That was not intended at first. It was a glitch. The developers thought, "Hey, that actually is way better. That is way better than what we had actually planned. So let's just keep doing that." So it was less you're gonna fight to stop from getting arrested. No, you're fighting for your life, and they just ran with it. A lot of games.
Chezo, like top down means like you're looking down at the car from above, like little toy cars.
Yeah, like most RTS games are top down.
Yeah. StarCraft, I mean, those are isometric. I'm trying to think of like a better example. Like Hotline Miami is top down.
Yeah, Zelda, the original
Zelda.
Zelda.
The original Zelda, I'd say. I just, you know, Grand Theft Auto, I think is different than Hatred because Grand Theft Auto actually had some substantial game design to it, and it was also, you know, it was sort of a, you know, a satire. It was kind of poking fun at things like, you know, all these classic movies, Godfather, Goodfellas, you know, shows like Miami Vice, all of these little things that were very in the big cultural zeitgeist of their times, like Grand Theft Auto 3 was about 70.
Zelda.
What? Hate Zelda? Gabi,
Yeah.
You're a failure.
We can't be friends now.
You're a failure at life, Gabi. You have abdicated your right to live. Zelda hates you back. What about that? There's that thing in the Skyward Sword, that hand that comes out of the toilet that Miyamoto put in the game. Where
Gabi got timed out.
Apparently, there's like some myth where there's like this hand that comes out of the toilet in Japan that like grabs you while you're going to the bathroom. So it just takes its hand and just. Apparently, Norway has one of those too. Just these monsters that rape you while you're going to the
I
bathroom.
wish Karth was here because Australia is much more strict about all this stuff.
I know, this would be a good topic for Karth.
We may have to revisit it. We may have to revisit it.
This game probably never.
I'm sorry, I have a lot of caffeine in my blood.
In my blood.
I don't have enough blood in my caffeine stream. This is what it goes
They
down.
didn't get Postal. They didn't get Hotline Miami. So like, there's no chance of hatred. I don't think there's a loss though. I just think that Grand Theft Auto had some. I mean, I don't really like new Grand Theft Auto games. I really don't, because they're too big for their own goddamn good. Like Rockstar has this idea, like, we need to make the world bigger. We need to make it bigger. And I'm like, no, you need to make it better. And I know people are gonna like, Alex, why don't you like Grand Theft Auto? And I'm like, because they make the world too big and you're still driving your little slow ass cars. After playing something like Saints Row 4 and Just Cause 2, Grand Theft Auto is archaic and old. I don't care about.
I've never found the game fun, to be completely honest.
If we look at what Neo Shadow just actually put in chat,
Yep, they're working very, very hard to maintain the Grand Theft Auto image. The No, by the way, is a great place to get crap. Rooster Teeth has turned into some awesome.
Unless it's about Silent Hills, where they fucked that up.
Yeah.
It's just
Fixed it today.
It's very interesting because I want to say the biggest word here with all the games that we've been talking about and the companies we are talking about is intent. The intent of their game. Because just looking at that with how Rockstar is perceiving the intent of this, they're not saying, hey, this is a bad game. They're trying to cover their bases and trying to see it more positive and just be like, hey guys, just enjoy the game. And that's it. Where I've not seen quite the intent from the company that did Hatred yet.
We haven't seen or heard much at all from them, really.
Right.
We've heard shit from other people. That's why I had my question.
I've actually heard a few things about what Destructive Creations has said, and they're pretty proud of the game. I mean,
so their intent is more towards a negative.
They're trying to stir shit. I really do think so. Now, I think as far as Rockstar, I would argue that they were trying to create a little bit of controversy when Grand Theft Auto was new. But now everyone knows Grand Theft Auto, and everyone is like, oh, it's Grand Theft Auto. It's controversial, but we know it's a good game.
Right. Intent.
A lot of people nowadays, and Rockstar knows this too, they're selling Grand Theft Auto because they think it's a good game. I don't think the controversy is really the focus of their marketing, not nearly as much anymore, because at this point, everyone knows it's Grand Theft Auto.
It's more social commentary now.
The only people who are creating any sort of controversy as far as Grand Theft Auto are the people who claim that it's misogynist. But that's an entire different argument than saying it's violent. Like the people.
Or the Lindsay Lohan shit.
Well, I don't know, like, come on.
Nobody cares. It's there. Nobody cares.
I would never have thought they
looked Kardashians
until she brought it up. So, like, that's her problem. But, like, they apparently, like, Grand Theft Auto 5 got pulled from Targets in Canada because, like, they say it encourages violence against women, which is complete bullshit. Anyone who
you know what encourages violence? Taking away my bloody video games.
I mean that caused its own deal where it's like you can buy it somewhere else, and Target got incorrect facts, and like, well, fuck them, buy it somewhere else. But I mean, as far as I don't think Rockstar creates controversy anymore. They don't have to. People buy Grand Theft Auto by the name.
Oh, Gabi, you're a trend.
Or they buy it because it killed their father and raped your mother. Poor Gabi. Oh wait, I'm not sorry, Gabi. Sorry. Maybe if you weren't an asshole, I'd feel sorry for you. I don't really care if you kill the women in Grand Theft Auto because they're not real.
I just have to say that spider up there is real, and that spider is awesome because there's 2 stink bugs in the web. But
not going downstairs ever again. Gotcha.
The spider is so small.
I'm so scared of bugs. It's adorbs. It's so adorbs.
I mean, looking at certain comments, what people do in video games, what they do, should not be in society defined as who they are. However, that's how people are portraying it.
Yep.
Because if that was the case, like, I would be a demon hunter. Am I a demon hunter in real life?
If there were demons, probably.
Maybe.
I'd
if there
be
were
cool
demons.
like Dante, but I'm not.
But it's one of those things, like, I don't have a Buster Sword, and I can't take down freaking amazing villains. I'm not gonna walk up to someone and shank them. Like, it's one of those case situations where what you do in a video game and what you enjoy in a video game does not make how you are
See,
in real life.
the interesting thing about this is that even if what they said was true, they're still ignoring the other side, which is all like, maybe you're a good person in a game.
Yeah.
You're a better person in real life because you can't have both. You can't have one but not the other.
This is a conversation that is actually beyond gaming and is media thing. If that was the case, then how do we perceive the people who enjoyed 50 Shades of Grey? If that were the case, how would we perceive people that go to see Transformers or other violent blockbuster movies every
more
year?
recent Transformers, I perceive them as having poor taste.
Yeah. Okay. Very violent movies. There's that.
Explosions.
Back in college.
I am
This is actually pertinent to this conversation. Back in college, I was in speech class, and we had to do a debate.
Oh boy.
My choice was violence in media and how the effect actually works. So I stuck down and I did a lot of research, and this still holds true today. Excluding wartime, seeing as we are not in any form of war right now, this is privy to this time. We are living in the most peaceful time in human history. Let that sink in for a minute.
I believe that.
All the bullshit that's going on in the Middle East, all the riots, all the cop killings, all that terrible shit. And even in this study, if you count this, every piece of violence that was reported, like somebody smacks their girlfriend or whatever, if that gets counted as a death via violence, because there's actually a society, or I forget which group it is under the government, that monitors how much violence happened in the country or the world at this particular point. We're still living in the most peaceful time in human history. Think about that. All we can talk about is how super violent people are, and we're not. Go back to the freaking Middle Ages. People died in droves for fun. You could go over and like kill peasants, and that could be actually a thing. People did this shit in real life. Violence, plague, all that shit. We're living in a nigh paradise, and all we can talk
Compared to
about
some
is
of
this
the stuff
fake.
in the
Like we've actually condensed it down to the
Right.
point where all that we can bitch about is violence in this fake
Against-
video game
against
with
fake
people
things.
that don't exist.
I mean, there have been so
Insane.
many studies saying that games they give you like better perception of right and wrong. Like there's been studies that say
There can be. Because you
games
have to
don't
make
cause
choices
violence.
for situations you've never been in and hopefully never will be in.
There are so
And-
many studies that say games don't cause violence, games don't cause sexism. All of these studies that are only reinforcing things that us gamers have already known.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there are many people in the gaming community who really believe that if you play Hatred, you will go out and shoot up your school.
Everyone just thinks it's poor taste. That's it.
I mean, the people who think that that will happen in general are people who are not in the gaming community. That is the main problem I've had with so many of these sort of social issues. The people who are criticizing this are people who are looking outside in. They don't consider, they aren't actively involved in going to game nights at their local college. They don't go to game jams at community centers. They don't involve themselves in the community. They're always looking at it from the outside. If they were involved in the community, they would realize that all of these social and moral assumptions are completely flawed and not true, because I know you guys aren't going to do anything bad. Kat might, but she's a silly goose. Everyone else is, everyone else is kind of like, I mean, and I think Hatred's whole existence was they wanted to push buttons because I don't think that the game itself was the source of the controversy, but they knew that people would lose their shit over it. And they knew going in that, like, they weren't making the game and they're like, no one's going to be upset about this. They otherwise, because that trailer was, it was edited. It was created with the intent of getting in close and for making the guy look brooding and violent. And I just think that they knew, and I think that in a sense that's good marketing, because even though the game is bad, I'm sure they sold a lot of stuff on that game because people wanted to see how much of this test of free speech. I don't think they intended it to be a test of free speech, because they knew that they were going that the press, because this was at a time when the gamers had a lot of distrust for the press. This was at a time where they knew that there was a lot of social justice warriors in the games press. The Hatred devs knew that, because this whole controversy between the press, I'm not going to name it, but you guys know what I'm talking about, that was going on since August. I'm trying to remember when the trailer came out, but I think it was
I was
sometime.
going to say, didn't they have to work on that a long time before that controversy even happened, though, for it to be ready?
Well,
at
the
that point?
game was in greenlight long time after the controversy started. The controversy started in August, and Hatred, I think, came the original trailer came out sometime, I'm thinking like at the end of 2014. I don't think it was 2015. I think it was last year. And they knew. They knew, and they knew, like, we're having this big cultural discussion. Now's the time to release this trailer.
Could you almost say that Gamergate could have been an influence?
Absolutely. No question that had something to do with this game's appeal and success to the community. I have no doubt in my mind that had to do with it. Because this was right in the hype of it. This was right where everyone was losing their minds about this. They knew. And of course, all of the gaming publications that a lot of people didn't trust were talking about this game. Yeah, Yeah, True Flight. Yeah, it's still going on, by the way. Polygon's stupid. They released this whole like Rock Band 4 preview, and the whole article was just like the writer saying how apathetic he is toward gaming in general. And I'm like, wow, way to waste my time and show that you're getting paid to write about something that you don't care about. Cool story.
It's very interesting to kind of look at it at the aspect of what would be the company's mindset for causing such a stir, like other than would you say it was a marketing focus?
Well, here's the thing about that. If that was their intent, they have pretty much gotten all of the money they're ever going to get from everybody.
Right.
Because after that initial stir up, it's just going to calm down. People are going to see the reviews, and they're going to not follow the rules of gaming anymore and not pre-order anything until it comes out. You heard me. Don't pre-order anything until it comes out. You give money to people who make bad games.
Yeah.
You get pissed, and then you do it again.
Speaking of, I have to pre-order the new expansion of Final Fantasy.
I got to pre-order Batman.
There's only one game I'm going to pre-order this year, and that's Xenoblade Chronicles X, but that's only because if I don't get it at launch, there's going to be a shortage, and I'm never going to get it.
Fair enough.
That's the only reason, but like, don't pre-order Assassin's Creed Syndicate. If you
I think nobody will. They didn't even call it pre-order. They called it like reserve it. Like,
yeah, they call it reserve it now instead of pre-order.
I ordered this limited edition Total Biscuit thing, and it's basically a shirt and a poster that says House of Biscuit, thou shalt not pre-order.
So you can put it on your wall and just remember. It's like you see a really good trailer, then you look at the wall, and you see
right.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wanted to play Splatoon. I didn't pre-order it. I want to, because it's an online-focused game, and I want to make sure that all of those.
Yeah. But now, did Hatred ever even actually get a point of pre-order? Like,
yes,
it did.
From the site though.
Oh, you can't actually get the pre-order at 3.
Like, hey, pre-orders are open. Here's the second violent trailer.
That makes me wonder, like, who was like so hyped they pre-order it though? Like,
the people who wanted to criticize it.
Artistic statement. Who was like, this is an example of free speech in video games.
Do you remember back when Howard Stern was considered controversial?
Oh god.
Before he got on XM radio, and
right?
Like, wait, he's just a foul-mouthed shock jock like everyone else. It's just he was bold enough to do it on the regular airwaves and keep getting in trouble for it.
Yeah.
There was another guy like that named Bubba the Love Sponge, which he has a few extremely horrible but funny audio clips out there somewhere, and some that are just flat out terrible. But anyway, the point is, back then, Howard Stern was considered extremely controversial, and there were calls for him to get banned off the airways. You know why he didn't get taken off the airways? Because the people who hated him listened to him more than the people who liked him, so they'd have something to be pissed off about.
Yep. So essentially, then you're saying the people who pre-ordered are the ones that wanted to stir the controversy. Who would we kind of go as far to say that they were probably the first ones to play it just to continue with it?
Probably.
Quite possibly. Maybe. I mean, I'm sure there were some people that did want to do it because they were supporting it, but most of them, if history is any teacher, they were doing it just because they wanted to be able to bitch about it. Point to, I bought this game, that's terrible.
Guys, do not pre-order Metal Gear Solid 5. I want to play that game so bad, but I'm not pre-ordering it. I'll get it at launch.
I stopped really playing Metal Gear somewhere around. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I played halfway.
Definitely not safe for work, by the way.
This is the last one.
What?
And a lot of it was just freaking stupid and terrible.
Wait, what was that, Joker?
True Flight was asking Bubba the Love Sponge. He's friends with Hulk Hogan. He's a pretty weird guy. He had a couple of audio clips that I thought were really funny back when I was, like 19. He was someone who actually spent more time kicked off the air than Howard Stern.
Oh.
But he did some really messed up stuff too, which is probably why he doesn't have too much going on anymore. I think the last time he got kicked off the air, it was because they were slaughtering a pig live on radio.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
I think that the people who were the first to say that Hatred would probably not be a good game were the people who realized the soonest that it's just trying to be edgy. Like, I mean, it was the people like me and some of other people I know who were just like, this is trying way too hard. And people were making jokes about it, making parody videos. This was in a time when everyone else was saying how terrible it was. Like, there was recently a video by Extra Credits, who I fucking hate. I hate Extra Credits. They are hypocrites and they are idiots. They made a video about how hatred encourages sadism. And they made this video. It was released like a couple weeks ago. And I'm like, why are you releasing this now? At this point, you really think you're still shocked by this? At this point? Because this was a point where everyone just wanted the game to come out just to see if the controversy was hollow or not. And I have a feeling it was. Because the review scores are just saying, eh.
Yeah. It's like, hatred seems like the kind of, like, it seems like you have this kid that came into school with like a really bad, like, edgy tattoo that says, like, fuck the insert whatever.
I hate my parents.
I mean, it just seems like they're trying so hard to be Billy Badass, and they're just not cool.
Mom,
he's
took
like the
away
guy
my
that's
Lincoln
trying
Park
too
CD.
hard.
Like the guy who was threatening me on Cart Serval.
Oh.
Gonna get me banned.
It's just trying so hard, and you're not being cool about it. Like,
It's like let's give
look at
like
Postal. Postal
Linkin-
was
Linkin
like
Park
doing that.
CD, black hair dye, and a box of Cocoa Puffs to this teenager, and have him make a game.
If like the lead character didn't look like an obvious caricature of this is like the super goth kid thing. I mean, because he's got like super
Trench
shiny
coat.
black hair down to his ass. He's got the like black trench coat. He's got like the little arm and the things, and like obviously like looks like he
Extra
crawled out of the
credit.
old World of Darkness back in the 90s. And if it wasn't so obviously
He's so
over,
goth he poops bats.
yes, like it's bad. It's just trying so hard to act like they're cool, and it's not.
So what about those people in real life who actually dress like that?
I make fun of them behind their backs.
Well, Alex, you're a dick. We already know that.
Yeah.
No,
Because I was gonna say, I know at least 3 of us here have hit that phase at
Yeah.
one point or another.
Here's the thing, though. When I went out to goth nights, I dressed pretty much exactly like I am right now. The only thing I ever did was put on eyeliner sometimes.
We all had that.
I mean, so
How about this? How about this? I'll just claim this. I would make fun of those kids after I grew out of that phase. Because there was a time where, like, when I was in like middle school,
Shibo, the guy from Hatred.
where I was
The
like,
gothy trench coat people.
I'm just gonna wear my hoodie and.
I mean, I got a full-length black
listen
leather
to my,
coat.
I got one over there too.
Right back
Breaking
there.
Benjamin's-
yeah, I was gonna say I have a black leather. Well, I don't have my trench coat
I
anymore,
didn't
but
get
I
to
have.
date a goth. I
But
didn't get to do that.
it's kind of the reason I bring this up though is because like, do we feel the stereotype of hatred with this game and the main character is a stereotype that is negative just in general with society because of how society kind of looks at goth?
I think
I
it's
don't.
outdated.
I don't think
I-
It's very outdated.
Yeah.
Like
Because
it's
these
extremely
days,
outdated.
real goths.
Goths, and they go, those people are strange. We are far enough past Columbine that I don't hear Columbine comments every time I walk around with a trench coat.
Like,
I
But
did
then
for
again-
probably 6 or 7 years after that.
I think that we all had that phase. We know that.
Before that,
I
it was
dyed my hair
Spawn.
black in high
But
school.
it's
Bet.
not a subculture that's really around like it used to be. Really aren't people that, like, unless you're at a convention that encourages wearing costumes and crap. People
I
really
mean,
don't do that
Surprised.
as much anymore.
Well,
You
let's
would
say
be
this, 'cause
surprised.
the goth culture of my era is not the goth culture of Josh and Jeremy's era. Like,
No, that's
it's
true.
not the culture of today either. Is
Yeah.
what I'm
because
going with.
like if you take a look at like a goth today and they see the guy from Hatred, they would say this is fucking retarded. That's what they'd say.
Would
Because
they? Because ask the chat right now.
There's a bunch of them in there.
Yeah.
No, I mean I'm like I think do you goths think that Hatred protagonist is stupid or not? If
Until
you
we wait.
do, if you don't, that's fine. I mean,
Because
I-
honestly, you want my
I mean,
viewpoint on
technically,
it?
I know they still qualify as a god.
absolutely.
My viewpoint on it, when I first saw the trailers, I personally had an interest in that character. I liked the style of that character. I thought he was a complete badass. Just looking, not even looking at the game, not even looking at the content, just seeing a picture of who that character was reminded me of Darkness from Darkness.
Yeah.
And
it's
it
the goth,
had-
the goth that never gothed.
I had like this, oh god, that is awesome.
True Flight, I hope that
That's-
day never comes.
That's, I mean, like, that's
It'll
actually
happen.
kind of interesting.
Wait a minute,
because-
technically it already has happened. We just called them Scene Kids.
Yeah, it's seen kids.
Yeah, we don't have like if you find like a person like from our generation who is there are no goths. There are emos or scenes or hot topic kids.
It has
Goth and
evolved.
Now that
There
goth
are
is
still
become
goth,
trendy
it
and marketable,
just- It's more rare.
It is more.
They tend to not show it publicly.
Yeah.
You would be shocked because, I mean, I work around teenagers a lot. You would be shocked how many of them, they like that music. They like that subculture. They like dressing that way. They don't do it in public, and they don't know anywhere they can go to act like that.
No, I do agree with that,
Even
Helena.
anime,
100%.
and
Black
most
metal
of the-
versus goth. I 100% agree with that.
Most of the real
Yeah.
goths I know are lesbians, so there you go. But
Alex, your opinion, honestly, of goth is very, I don't want to say diluted, but I don't personally think you have been in an atmosphere of going to a goth club or going to an event.
no, I haven't. I'd like
And
to.
you're right. I'm not saying anything negative. I'm just saying that I would be interested to see your opinion of it after a situation where you were put into it, because just going to a goth club has been one of the best events. They're extremely friendly. When they flock together, they come in like family. Like, it's
It's very much like game
Why do you
culture.
think
a lot of
I-
times.
It depends, though.
yeah, it
Because
really
when
does.
ceremony was going on back in the day, there were definitely cliques.
Oh yeah, anyone
Why
has
do you
cliques.
think I hate
One
goths? I don't. I think they're
weekly
some of the
event,
nicest and most considerate and understanding people in the entire culture. I just don't think there's many of them in my generation anymore.
Yeah. But to actually kind of touch on the topic of, yeah, I agree with the black metal thing. When that was brought up, no, I would totally see that as being what was that show on fucking Adult Swim? He reminds me
Metalocalypse.
Metalocalypse.
Like I
That's what
said,
it was.
The first thing I said,
Explosion.
he looks like Nathan Explosion. He's the
Nathan
lead
Yeah.
singer.
Explosion is a caricature of the lead singer of the band Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you look at it,
Death clock, death clock. Dun, 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 dun.
I have all of their albums. Which is one guy, by the way. Rather impressive, but off topic.
Brandon Small.
I mean, it's very interesting because, like, there's just something in my head that just went, man, like, the whole aspect of then bleeding black metal into goth and the similarities and differences, and I'm just like, we have 30 minutes left, and this is a topic we could go on for hours,
I mean,
but...
this is-
I'd like a
Can't
game
get
with a
culture.
goth protagonist that's like not hatred guy.
Yeah, I mean, there have been those before, but they don't get much, like, traction.
Now, I want to something that Kat kind of talked about, that she's kind of like the character because, like,
Yeah, I could agree with that. Sorry, the
he is
Jack Black, Brutal Legends.
Brutal Legend.
I wish that game was good. I wish that game was good because I love metal so much. Why did that game have to be garbage? Double Fine, you're a failure. But the thing is that there's no reason as to why the hatred guy is killing everyone. No reason. Now, if you've ever read the comic book Johnny the Homicidal Maniac,
Pretty much everyone here knows that.
Yeah.
good. You realize, I mean, they actually interviewed.
It has to stay
Jonan
bright
Vasquez.
to keep the demons
Of course,
out.
everyone knows who Jonan Vasquez is because he's making all this money from Invader Zim merchandise. It's one of
Yeah, when they
his
found out
license-
he did Johnny, they made Invader Sim go away.
No, actually, Invader Zim had all this other stuff tagged. The ratings were coming from a demographic from that Nickelodeon was not associated with. normally.
Uh-huh.
Like the young kids weren't watching it, but the older kids were. And Nickelodeon's like, that's not our target audience. Fuck off. But they interviewed Joan Vasquez, and he's like, "Well, do you want to know? Do you want to answer what is the history of knee?" And he says, "I don't want to give him a history. I don't want to say he was like beat up as a kid, because then that does his character comes from the fact that he's just insane, and you don't know why he's insane." And I'm thinking, yes, because that's great. I do not want to know. I mean, the most interesting part about him is he's just insane. And
It's
that
always
guy-
the mysterious characters.
Kind of like
the
how when
Joker.
Rob Zombie did the remakes of Halloween, he spent how much of the movie explaining to us why Michael Myers
Exactly.
is so
I mean, when you really
we're
get
all like, we don't care. We
We
just want to
didn't
see him
wanna
kill
know.
some fuckers.
the mysterious, understated characters always get it. Why the fuck is Boba Fett a thing? He has like 3 lines and he doesn't do anything good. It's because he's mysterious and cool. That's
I
why
didn't
he
realize
needs
his
to be a thing.
dad's dead. That was
Yeah.
kind of
No, but they went back and explained him, and they kind of ruined how cool the character.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Like
the thing.
think of
It'd be
how
kind of like giving a script to the aliens from, well, Alien.
There's a trope for it, but it's like the
you
mysterious
guys know what
stranger or
the
something.
original ending of Alien was. The
Everyone
alien
dies.
talked in the voice of Ripley and survived. The ending had the alien talk in the voice of Ripley at the computer. The alien talked. And I'm like, thank God they got rid of that.
That movie
That's-
went through a lot of shit.
But I mean, like, think about the Joker if you realized all about his past, about how he was.
That's something
damaged.
Nostalgia Critic actually talked about when he compared Michael Keaton Batman versus Christian Bale Batman. And it's like the villains in the new Batman, like the Joker, was so much better because you got no clue what's going on with him. And he knocked it out of the park.
Yep.
And he ended up coming to the conclusion that Michael Keaton's Batman was a little bit better, at least acting wise, just because you didn't know as much about him, you didn't spend as much time getting to know him, and he did a better job of that brooding, silent,
And
You know.
possibly insane.
nothing possible about it. Go back
You
and
want
look
to
at
get nuts? Come on.
We
Let's
just
get
know
nuts.
that the
yeah,
Joker
because
is
I'm pretty much convinced Michael Keaton's fucking insane, but in the best possible way.
like the Joker.
Christian Bale is too, but
insane,
just in the angry
and
way.
There's no explanation because I mean that makes him interesting because if the more that's the human nature. We are judged. Our defining feature as a species is our ability to use logic because the more that we know, the more we understand and the less we fear. But if we know nothing about the Joker or Nee or Hatred Guy, we kind
Does he even have a name?
No, he's just the protagonist.
Just like It was Postal Guy. They
I
didn't
just call
put
him
Oh,
his
okay.
name.
Guy
Okay, I didn't know if he actually had a name.
or Nathan Explosion Jr.
It's going to be Nathan Explosion after this because
Nathan Explosion
close.
Jr.
it's just too close.
Or Nathan Explodey.
Game.
Explodey.
Nathan Explodey. I'm just gonna put that on Twitter. That's the name of Hatred Guy. But it's just that
somebody troll.
I think there was an article that
Very
someone
tough.
wrote on The Escapist about how hatred is a blank slate game. And it basically is trying to make the argument is that since there's no context as to why the hatred guy is how he is that you can interpret this game however you want.
That's the point. That's the old thing that they did with Postal and
Now,
like the original Grand Theft Auto and all that stuff. We don't want to come up with a reason to give him a sob story. Or we don't want to give him a reason to feel like he's validated. Because then we're actually leading the audience to, okay, he's doing this because of this.
to sympathize.
So you don't have to sympathize with this monster if you don't want to. You
And I
can
think-
or not at your own discretion because you have to make the shit up yourself.
That's
Then
very
it-
actually
Then
interesting.
it's not on the game company. It's
Yeah.
on the player. So they're not responsible.
Do I think that Destructive Creations intended to do that? No. I think they just wanted to make a game where you're just violent and there you go. That's it. Just violence for the sake of violence. And that's their decision. I just think that I don't want Hatred Guy to be just a tortured teenager because that's lame. Like think if the Joker was beat up in school. That would be lame. You wouldn't sympathize with him. You'd be like, oh, that's pathetic.
You're not supposed to sympathize with him anyways. The dude
Yeah.
cut off his own face for kicks.
I mean, people
Yeah.
like the
I mean,
Joker. Just
like with Heath Ledger's Joker, it was maddening that you never actually found out how he really got those scars, but it told you something about his character that he convincingly came up with how many different explanations,
Yeah, oh yeah.
and you never knew which one was true. Isn't that how Harley Quinn ended up getting roped in the first place? The Joker just started talking to her, and then basically,
Well,
that's That's what Arkham Asylum kind of implies. Like she was
See.
a nurse there, and he's like,
as the comic book guy, Harley Quinn's an interesting character because she was one of the few characters that did not get come up with in the comic book at all.
Mhm.
If you want to see how it happened, actually watch Batman the Animated Series with Kevin Conroy, because that's where that shit started, and she got popular in the show, so they moved her into the comics, which was kind of
that's
cool.
really cool.
There's very few characters that have done that, but she's one of the few of them. But yeah, she was
abridged.
she's one of she was just a nurse to him, and he just started talking to her, and she was she was his therapist. That's right.
Yeah,
And
she was
he did the psychology back to her at the point where he did full on Stockholm gaslighting on her, and it was a mess. And
and he started flirting with her.
But
She was getting flatted.
yeah. But yeah, that's how the Harley Quinn thing happened. And then she became one of the more visual representations of women in comic books anymore. I mean, shit, there's set photos of her from the new Suicide Squad movie coming out like every week.
Did they get to
It's
play her
really
again?
cool how
I have
popular
no idea.
it's gotten.
Nobody
Because
that I know.
As far as like a villain, a female villain, she is very scatterbrained. She is extremely
Oh,
loose.
she's nuts. She
Yeah,
has
I mean,
moments
and-
where she's very, very sympathetic. But
But
then
you
she
don't
loses it and she goes
see
nuts.
female villains like that. They're usually kind of poised. They're usually kind of they have sort of that sensual sexuality to them. She's just all over the place, and that's interesting. She's legit crazy now, and that's
The
This
chick
is
from
funny.
The Wolf on Wall Street.
The lady who's playing Harley Quinn is also playing Jane in a new Tarzan movie.
well, she's crazy there too.
Hey Harley, you Jane. But apparently
I
she
mean,
was
all,
the girl
all
from
of these
Wolf of Wall Street.
interpretations of hatred in general. You could say
Wait,
they're
was
all
she his
right and they're all
wife?
wrong.
In the second wife in Wolf of Wall Street, is that
Yeah.
who that is?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I can see her pulling it off.
So just, I think that the one bit that everyone can kind of agree on from the people I know who've played it, it's that it's just a mediocre game wrapped in controversy. Whether or
No,
not
that's pretty much where I began and stopped with. There's nothing good about this game, and they're writing the bullshit that other people stirred up that I don't think has
I
anything
mean, you
to
can
do with
make
their
the
end
argument
product.
that the developers intended to do that, or that there is some hidden statement as freedom of speech. But at the end of the day, for me, I just kind of wanted to know, was this controversy hiding something substantial? And I honestly don't think it was. And now
Yeah.
that answer has been, that answer is come and gone, I'm just going to say, okay, this is what we should have done from the very beginning. Just let it go and let it just disappear into
We're
the
not
wind.
singing again, Alex. You didn't sing last time anyways.
Okay, I won't.
But yeah, if this thing is a whole freedom of speech issue, I have freedom of speech too.
That's not speech.
Oh wow,
That's
most people don't
speech.
even
This
know
is
who
talking
Elizabeth
as loud as I
Bathory
need
is.
to.
Internet points to you for that one.
But yeah,
If
I
you
mean,
haven't,
Yeah,
who
I mean,
is
if it
saying
was a
that?
freedom of speech statement, well, there you go. You made your freedom of speech. I just wish you made a better game.
that's
if you
really the
haven't
thing.
seen it, watch the movie Stay Alive.
Oh, Stay Alive was good.
Get the unrated version, not the PG-13 version. The unrated version is much
Always,
better.
always.
There's a lot of movies like that.
Mhm.
Wait, did Team 4-Star play Revengeance? Did they play freaking Metal Gear Rising?
They might
They
have.
do
I
that.
haven't watched their stuff. They have a
Dobby,
new.
if they did that, I'm watching that because I love Metal Gear Rising. Platinum Games are my messiah.
We know that. But the thing that kills me about this hatred thing is.
Rules of nature.
Shut it up!
I'm sorry, I love it.
the thing with this whole statement, you make a game to make a statement, then that's okay. What happens when you're not the controversy on the table anymore? People still have this one game either on their shelf or on their Steam pub that they're like, the fuck did I buy this for? I mean, and they'll never play it again. They'll never play it again. It's going to be sat on the shelf and forgotten, either virtual or if they even makes it to real disc production, which I doubt.
No, it won't. I mean, I might get it on Steam sale if it's or like it might be a humble bundle maybe. If it was like I don't know, like $3, I'll just
any more than that is not even worth considering.
By the way, you should definitely go to various other sites because GOG started GOG Galaxy, which is sort of their answer to Steam as a client. And I found Indie Gala and Bundle Stars have some pretty neato bundles that you should try. And Fearox, you're an asshole for not liking Rising. It is an amazing game.
I don't like Metal Gear anymore.
It's the best Metal Gear game that has been made in ages is Metal Gear Rising.
I kind of stopped playing with
I stopped playing.
Do you like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta? Because that's what Metal Gear Rising is. It's not a stealth game.
Yes.
Then Jeremy won't like it.
Metal Gear. Okay, let me put it this way. We're playing Warframe. I'm sneaking around in this giant Earl's King thing that's one of the tallest ones in the game with a bow. And yes, occasionally I have to mumble, "You have failed this city," and pinning people to the wall by their heads.
Like if I'm gonna do something like that, I'm sorry, Warframe. I can be a cyber ninja in a much cooler sense without having I'm sorry, he's the king of meaningful gameplay mechanics. But I don't need a super convoluted Kojima story behind my crazy kung fu cyber ninja thing.
There is no
There's no story.
I do not play Metal Gear Rising for the story. I play it for two reasons: the gameplay and the freaking soundtrack.
See, those I can actually get behind, and I might play it at some point just for that. But
I got off of the
Metal Gear Solid
per second.
I got off of the
I got off of it when they
thing
stopped
at around Metal Gear Solid 1. I played 2. It wasn't terrible, but that's when the crazy convoluted anime style plot started coming in, as opposed to being a parody of.
Separate Revengeance from everything else Metal Gear. Everything. Absolutely.
It doesn't even count as a Metal Gear title, really?
It doesn't. None of the villains are main Metal Gear villains. Snake isn't in the game. The only thing that is Metal Gear, there are 3 things. Raiden, you get briefed by Codex while you're moving, and there's a point where you can get a box. And there are Metal Gear Rexes that you defeat with your sword. This is not a stealth game, and there is no big political intrigue or anything. No. This is
like stealth games. Stealth games are my thing.
Platinum.
I know Almir cannot watch me play Hitman.
Listen, Platinum games.
Just ready to kill them.
None of the Platinum games have good stories, and that's okay. They don't need them. The gameplay is good enough. Hence, Bayonetta 2. So there you go. Go play Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. If you don't like it, well, then you're an idiot. Sorry, Fearox. You're wrong. You are wrong here. Objectively.
This
I
doesn't
say
mean
objectively
you're actually wrong.
on Twitter.
That word, I do not think it means what you think it means.
You are wrong.
That is the
objectively.
exact same
I
thing
do not agree with
that
you.
my freaking friend Maya said to me. You know, I just say that just to piss people off. Because when you say objectively, then they start crying on Twitter.
That's what Twitter's for.
So play Metal Gear Rising, don't play Hatred.
See, I don't even really enjoy any Metal Gear stuff, and I will agree with that statement.
Yep.
We'll go with that.
Rules.
I haven't liked Metal Gear since it was Metal
Gear. You mean
Metal
the
Gear
NES?
2.
I feel asleep.
Snake.
So ultimately, I think we can all just rightfully agree that
Metal Gear Rising is awesome. Yes.
That Hatred isn't worth the controversy. It's not. I wouldn't say it's not a good game because I've not personally played it or played all of it, so I can't.
It's just another violent video game.
Yeah, it's just, it looks repetitive. It looks boring to me. if it stayed in a third person and not top down, then I think I would have more interest in it. I would rather go play Gears of War if I'm going to play a brutal game. I'd rather play Gears of War.
I think that's getting an
Downloading
HD
Unreal
remake, by the
Tournament
way.
the second we
Well, the
sign
thing is,
off.
Gears of War is actually a really, really good shooter. I mean,
Yeah.
It's a great
I mean, if you
shooter,
want a
and it
twin-
has a
if you
decent
want a-
story too.
If
Eventually,
you want to play a good twin stick shooter, you play Hotline Miami. You could play Geometry Wars.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Ton.
better games out there than what Hatred is giving to the table right now, and they actually have elements of a good game, not just the violence, but a good game.
Just
So-
Cause 2 is great. Go play
Yeah.
that too. Yeah. Chat.
50 Shades of No Brain Violence. Nice.
Yeah.
no, it's only about 3 shades because it's all in grayscale. Because
Someone
it's
will,
metal.
hatred for Wii U.
coming-
Someone will take the Hatred trailer and overdub it with the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack. That would be funny.
Well, we officially have 15 minutes left. I think we pretty much hit all the bullet points of our conversation.
Bullet points.
Bullets
of hatred.
Any last comments, concerns, remarks, anything from the Peanut Gallery before we go into our outros?
Fuck peanuts. I hate peanuts. We hate everything.
I was,
Hatred.
at Walgreens, I was just, me and my coworker, he would just come up to me in the photo department and just go, I fucking hate this world. And we would just start cracking up. Like, it's trying so hard. Nathan Explodey.
Yep,
Nathan Explodey.
That is now
Nathan
confirmed to be
Killsong?
his character's name.
I'm good with that.
I'm going to go post that on Twitter.
Go play Warframe. It's awesome.
We're gonna do that.
Minecraft server.
Okie dokie, so outros. Alex.
Yes, I'm going to be doing a lot of, I update the Let's Play channel, which is youtube.com/whatthefuckgame, which is WUTD. I'll just post it in the chat. This is the Let's Play channel that I do with my buddy Matt, who's now going to be my roommate. We upload on the Let's Play channel 3 times a week: Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Shadows of the Damned. Wednesdays, Banjo-Tooie, and we're going to be starting a new Let's Play since the Scott Pilgrim Let's Play on Friday is done. We're going to be starting a new game, and it's a game that a lot of people know about, but I haven't finished yet because I'm a lazy idiot with a backlog. As for my channel, yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. YouTube.com/PostesMeric. I'm working on a video for that, and I'm going to start uploading Twitch highlights again. For a while, I just stopped doing that, but there are some new highlights on my Twitch channel, which is also in the chat, which is twitch.tv/PostesMericGaming. Persona 4's on Monday. Everyone's like, you're not done. You're barely halfway done with that game, and I'm like, I'm 64 hours in. Jesus. Saturdays, I'm not this Saturday. This Saturday, I can't do it. I cannot stream in this room. It's so small, and I got boxes over there. So no streaming on Saturday. I might do Persona on Saturday. I mean, it's really just I'm doing DMC for Saturday streams, but that's not going to happen this Saturday. Maybe the Saturday after. That's going to be when we're moving. Yeah. Sorry to make this complicated, but once I move into the new place with Matt. You're still going to be seeing the Let's Play stuff as usual. My channel is probably going to be updated a little bit more, and I'm considering adding a 3rd streaming day. I would be doing still JRPGs on Monday, big backlog games on Saturday, and I'm kind of thinking maybe on Wednesdays. Not that I would probably maybe make it like an indie night where I kind of clear out the indie games in the backlog because there's a lot of them. Because they are from Humble Bundles and stuff. But I am going to say there will be no new Let's Play episodes next week. You will see stuff this week. No streaming on Saturday. I might stream Persona, maybe just because the PlayStation 2 is already set up. Monday, you will be seeing more Persona. But really what's going to be going on is that we're going to be doing a lot of work to get this apartment together. We're going to be moving in on the 13th, which means that the week after, everything is probably going to be back to normal. Same stuff with the Let's Play channel. My channel is going to be updated with the new video, hopefully. And hopefully I'm gonna try and get 3 streaming days, just because I kind of think like an indie night would be good, and I'm getting more used to this being able to set aside time each day. So that's the plan. Shut up, True Flight. You're a fan.
Great talk.
Hi, my stuff's right there. Things and Twitters and other things that I don't touch. Actually, in about 3 hours, I'm going to work, so that's going to be a thing. A lot of Warframe. If you guys actually enjoy Warframe, from what I understand, it's got a pretty heavy view community for streaming, so I might get to working on that. Actually stream things off my computer onto Twitch as opposed to crap off my PS4. Depending on what's going on, I might be throwing up more YouTube videos. Got through one of the close to last bits of AVP, but I'm getting kind of sick of it, so I might try something new. Might be a hilarious Judge Dredd game that I found, but that'll be funny. But open for suggestions of crap to play and put things on YouTube next. Other than that, I'll be around. And absolutely, Fear Fox, if you want, that's my name on Warframe. Everybody who wants to hang out with me on Warframe can hang out with me on Warframe. Friend request ahoy. That's it.
Tioger.
I basically don't exist on social media still because I can't get streaming to work on this stupid thing. But I will probably be on with Tall doing Warframe stuff and Cardinal Server doing Minecraft stuff. So hang out with them, and you'll probably eventually run into me. Other than that, I'm going to be busy trying to find a better job and hopefully have some cool shit to show you guys before it takes longer and stuff. Go play Warframe and Minecraft, Cardinal Server.
And here's a link for more hatred. Not really.
Also, if you get on Cardinal's Minecraft server, they'll try to troll me. I will troll you back.
I am, of course, Almirmail, also known as Kat, and you can find me here on twitch.tv, Almirmail, Tuesday through Friday mornings. My Twitter, at Almirmail, and my YouTube, blah, blah. And my YouTube channel is Powa Button. I do put up all the highlights for gameplay. I put up all the podcasts in case you've missed them and can't go back into the archives. They are on YouTube, and I started putting up the D&D Improv. So that's definitely something to check out and watch if you are interested. I will be back in roughly an hour. In that meantime, I'm going to start contacting people for tonight's D&D Improv. So if you are interested in joining us tonight for D&D Improv, you can go here at the application sheet. It's very quick. It's just a simple, hey, how do I contact you? When are you available? Stuff like that. Just the basic gist of things. Let me know if you have a working microphone, if you have a working webcam, so on and so forth. So yes, D&D will be up next in roughly an hour. And we shall see you again next week, next Tuesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, for more /chat podcast. Until later, guys, have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.